Hey everyone, I'm Hannah and this is my August monthly thrift haul video where I'm going to show you everything I thrifted in the month of August. And August was pretty awesome. So I got the usual things that you see me thrift like every month, like music and magazines and Arthur birthday party loot bags. These are not part of my normal lineup. I saw them, I like the nostalgic factor of them, and I thought it'd be fun to like wrap some random gifts in. Now, going back to the magazines I mentioned, so I got an entire stack of fashion magazines. I got a couple Glamours, a couple In Style, a Vogue, and a Du Jour. And then I was surprised by my mom. She bought me a magazine on eBay because I collect old magazines. She found a Teen Stars photo album. This is an August 1986 issue. I recently redecorated my room just a little bit, so I took down all of my 80s teen posters. That's why they're not behind me anymore. And I'm not sure where I'm gonna put them up again, but if I do, now I have more, like Ralph Macchio, Prince, Kevin Bacon, and John Stamos. Honestly, this has like all of my favorite people: George Michael, Cyndi Lauper, Bon Jovi, Andrew McCarthy, I don't know, all of them. It's probably one of the best 80s teen magazines I've ever gotten. And then in another decade, I picked up this JCPenney catalog. This is spring and summer 1994. I happened to go to a garage sale. They had a table full of a bunch of like the Sears catalogs and JCPenney and Ward's. I also collect them. Surprisingly, I had a lot of the issues that the man had for sale, but I didn't have this one, and I am kind of getting into the 90s. I think the 90s ones are fun too. This is a very thick issue. We've got clothes, household stuff, and basically my dream bedroom from when I was a kid. Side note, if you're also interested in these old catalogs, my brother and I made a video last year where we actually went through a bunch of old catalogs and old magazines from the 80s and the 90s and we just roasted them. I will leave a link to that video down below and up in the cards. I think it's really funny and you would probably enjoy it. And then in the same vein as magazines, I picked up a book, just one. It is called Breaking the Vicious Cycle. It might seem like a really obscure title. If you're new here and you haven't had a chance to really stalk me online, for the last 10 years I've had chronic stomach issues and traditional medicine hasn't helped me. So recently, in the last few months, I went to a naturopathic doctor who has been amazing. And actually on my first visit that I saw her, she recommended this book to me and I checked it out from her library and it was very informative and I learned a lot from it. And I remember having notes like in every single page and then I had to give the book back. So I lucked out finding it at a thrift store. If you're interested in learning more about my health journey, I do post updates on my Patreon page and I will have that link down below. And now here's that music I mentioned. So the first is Phil Collins' Face Value on vinyl, because let's face it, I'm a big fan of Phil Collins. What did we do to deserve a gift like Phil Collins on this earth? Then I got a few cassettes. The first is Duran Duran, then Tracy Chapman, and finally, Yaz. Then some CDs, Good Charlotte, Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake, Samantha Fox, Def Leppard, and Rod Stewart. If you're not here for music, but you're here for nostalgia, I got that too. I got this cute little plastic Funshine Care Bear out of a free box at a thrift store. And then I'm continuing my tradition of finding something 90s Nickelodeon. I picked up this Doug puzzle. I was so stoked about finding this earlier in the month that I posted about it on Instagram because it was too good not to share with you guys right away. So, you know, if you don't follow me on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or signed up for my newsletter or my blog or whatever, you're missing out on seeing some of this stuff beforehand. As cool as this is, unfortunately, it was missing a few pieces. So, 90s Nick fans everywhere weep. Then at a completely separate time, I went to an estate sale. It was a very well-run estate sale for some elderly woman. And as I walked through her house, it was stuffed full of old people stuff. But I saw on one table there was the E.T. cup tumblers, which I see a lot, wasn't impressed by. And then as I moved along through the house, I found E.T. on VHS and the E.T. soundtrack on cassette, which I almost bought, but it was all instrumental music, which is not really my speed. And as I walked through the house past all of the usual old people collectibles like glasses and doilies, I just kept wondering why this old person had all this E.T. stuff and where the rest of it was. And then I finally found one more random obscure E.T. thing up in a upper bedroom, and it is the E.T. Colorforms Adventure playset. I love how random it was to find it. You just never know what old people are gonna collect. And I checked it out and it was in pretty good condition. So apparently she didn't play with it much. However, I think it's out of this world. Then I found the Trivial Pursuit Totally 80s board game, which I see at like every thrift store ever, but I've never seen it for 50 cents. I also picked up the game Hearing Things. It's a lip reading challenge, which is actually based on a challenge that was here on YouTube. I actually did the challenge a few years back, and I will link that so you can watch it. That's a fun throwback. I actually played it with my friends and it kind of drove them wild. So we might not get to play it again ever. But I think it's a fun game. Remember like 3 minutes ago when I said that I'm redecorating my bedroom? So I found some new bedroom decorations. The first is this really cute little pink circular rug, and it has these giant pom-poms that are in all different colors. You get the gist of it. And then I found something from my thrifting wish list. Unfortunately, it's not furniture. Oh, I need new furniture so bad. But I found a lipstick lamp. Okay, and this is gonna blow your mind. So if you go to my thrifting wish list, which is on my Pinterest page, you will see that I have been looking for a lipstick lamp for probably 3 or 4 years. And then if you go to my blog right now, theoutfitrepeater.com, there'll be a post about my August monthly thrift haul video, and I always write a thrifting wish list, an updated thrifting wish list. So it's always worth watching this video from my blog because you get a little extra content over there. I kid you not, on my September thrifting wish list, I wrote that I'm looking for novelty lamps. And the spooky thing was, I wrote that list before I thrifted this, so like somehow the thrift gods got a hold of my list before I even published it, and they're like, we're gonna give Hannah that lipstick lamp she's been looking for forever. And it was really fun because the cashier who checked me out at Goodwill, I've been going there for years, and she never reacts to anything. Like, she is there to do her job. But she saw this lamp and she lit up. No pun intended. She just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So if this somehow got her to smile, then I know I thrifted something good. Next in my thrift haul is a big old stack of clothes and a bunch of stories to tell, so let's dig right into that. So I'll start small and then work my way up. So one of the small things is this gold lion head ring. Deja vu from July, I got a pair of white denim jeans and dark denim jeans. Why yes, I did just thrift these kind of pants last month. But the problem was, I've gone through some size changes recently, and those pants last month did not fit. They were too big. So I tried really hard to find clothes that would actually fit me this month, and these two pairs fit the bill. So these bad boys are a pair of white ultimate skinny jeans by Calvin Klein. And these dark wash jeans have some really good news attached to them. I got a job. It's super duper temporary and part-time right now, but I got a job. I am now a store associate, or stylist as you might say, at my local Maurice's, which is a chain clothing boutique, and you might have one near you, so check them out. I will absolutely continue to blog and to YouTube and all of that good stuff. This is just my way of getting to take my passion for fashion into the real world. Like I said, right now it's just temporary until December, and then we will see how it goes from there. But now, what about these jeans? These are the brand Vegas, which is sold at Maurice's. So one of my goals this month was I was thrifting really hard for work appropriate clothes, which thankfully the dress code at Maurice's is very casual. You basically dress on brand and you get to dress all fun and trendy. That was definitely an incentive of getting a job in the fashion world. I don't think I could work somewhere with a really strict uniform. And other pants that you may or may not see me wearing on the blog, or if you happen to catch me at work, I got this pair of high-waisted, slightly flared jeans, and I was really into them until the next day when I went thrifting and I found something that I liked even better. Isn't that how it always goes? I found these dark wash wide leg pants, and as perfect as they are, the only drawback is that they are hip huggers. Not necessarily one of my favorite rises. I would have preferred if they were high rise, but you know, thrifters can't be choosers. Everything else about them is awesome, and they're going to be a really great addition to my closet. Do you guys remember when I dressed up as Jennifer from Back to the Future and I bought a pair of floral pants and they fit like crap? After I wore that costume, I ended up donating those pants back because I was never going to wear them again. But I've always kind of kept it in the back of my mind, like, what if I wanted to dress up as Jennifer again? I need floral pants. So I found this pair of floral pants. They're sort of a grayish, yeah, gray, with pink and blue flowers. Skinny leg, ordinary rise. You know, they're floral pants. Hey, look at this! I found a Maurice's shirt! This is like an icy gray color with black dots repeated all over it. This particular top is not exactly my style, but I thought of a few ways that I can really edge it up, and I think it's gonna serve me well. Okay, remember last month? We're doing a lot of remembering in this video, but it's good because I'm kind of dealing with some memory issues right now, so if I'm remembering all this stuff, maybe I'm getting better. So last month I made the announcement that I am part of a local production of the play Arsenic and Old Lace. So the theater that the production is going to be at, they had a closet sale where they cleaned out the wardrobe and prop department and then sold it to the public. So naturally I got a few things from that. That is how I support the local arts. So the first of two things is this vintage blue jumpsuit that's gonna need some TLC. It's in pretty rough shape, which is to be expected because it was used as a costume. And I'm curious, it has the old zipper, which is broken, and instead they have a Velcro closure. So I'm wondering if this was some sort of like stripper car mechanic uniform. I don't know, I never saw the play. And the second thing was this beautiful green vintage dress. It's not necessarily the eras that I wear, but I saw it and I thought it was just too pretty to pass up, and I have a lot of friends that collect vintage, but as I thought about it more, I realized most of my vintage loving friends are actually above a size 12, and I knew there's no way this was above a size 12. So I came home and I was kind of brainstorming who could I give it to, and then I decided I had to try it on so I could at least know what it looks like, and it fit me like a glove, and I was like, well, that's it. None of my friends are getting it. It's mine now. I like the 60s-ness of it, so it has a vertical stripe and horizontal stripe. It has this round collar, and then in the back, it looks more like a traditional pointed collar. Such fun little details. Oy vey, I thrifted a lot more clothes than I remember. The next thing is this 80s era floral dress. It's long, buttons down the front, flutter sleeves, it had big shoulder pads. Those were the first thing to go. And I have to laugh because it's Fredericks of Hollywood, which if you know anything about them, let's just say risque nighttime clothing. When I initially saw it, it reminded me of Pretty in Pink, which is one of my favorite movies. But what really sealed the deal for me was it had a colored tag on it for only $1.25. And that is why volunteer-run thrift stores will always be my favorite. So when I got it home, I googled Pretty in Pink because I wanted to see like what dress I was envisioning, and I couldn't find any of the images, so I'm like, I guess it just kind of has a Pretty in Pink vibe. But I found something pretty cool. A nearby theater in Madison, Wisconsin was hosting a showing of Pretty in Pink on some random Wednesday afternoon. Now, if you ever spend any time ever online, you probably see a lot of 80s movies coming back into theater for when they do like their 30th anniversaries or 35th anniversaries. And normally when theaters show these old films, they jack the price up to like 20 bucks a ticket, and they do it on the most obscure days in select theaters. So I could not for the life of me figure out why this theater in Madison was showing Pretty in Pink on some random Wednesday afternoon for $5. And because of all that, I've never been able to get to any of these showings, and I'm so upset, especially because they did do Pretty in Pink a couple years ago and I didn't get to go. But I thought, this is my chance. I'm going to wear this dress and I'm going to finally get to see Pretty in Pink in a movie theater. Unfortunately, August has been super rainy for us and we've had flooding like all over Wisconsin, so going to the theater was a no-go. Even though I didn't get to make it, I'm glad I still got the dress, and I think it's funny that had I not got the dress, I would not have known that that movie was happening at all. Then I got some more vintage from thrift stores because more vintage, less problems. More like less money in your wallet. So I got this woolly white cardigan. It's pretty standard 80s style cardigan, kind of the squared off bottom, pockets on the hips. It's a cardigan. This is slightly more special. This is a purple and teal skater style dress, most likely from the 80s. I feel like it might have had shoulder pads, but the previous owner probably took them out because it kind of bunched up on my shoulders. But I don't even mind because it's super cute. Going back to my thrifting wish list, I did find a couple other things from it, just really super simple, basic things. So I got this black skater style skirt, easy peasy, goes with everything. And a thick black scarf, which I don't know why it is taking me so long to find it. Like, I couldn't even find them at retail stores. What? I actually ended up finding this one at a community closet for free. Now, if you're like most people, and most people are, you're probably wondering, what is this beautiful red polka dot thing behind me? This beautiful red polka dot thing is a dress that I found this month at a church garage sale. We kind of have a love-hate relationship with one another. I like it. I like the whole idea of it, like the long maxi style, the V, the very pretty print, and the bold color. But the problem happened when I actually put it on. So it was a smidge big, not too much, you know, it was doable, but because it's such a long, heavy fabric, it kind of was dragging me a little. It kind of felt like I was wearing a heavy blanket around. Again, not completely a deal breaker. I'll deal with it. But the V, oh my goodness, I have never worn such a plunging neckline. Like, it went below my bra. That is how plunging it was. So I supplemented with a cami because that's what you do when something's really low. But there's just something about wearing a cami with this dress. It made me look like I was a nursing mother, which is fine, you know, if I was a nursing mother. But I've never even had a boyfriend. It just looked weird. Again, not a total deal breaker, but I probably won't wear it as often as I would like to, just because of the small fit issues. Okay, the last thing. You might remember last summer. Just kidding, I'm not gonna make you guys remember anything else. But if you're wondering, yes, I'm still watching X-Files. A good friend of mine got me hooked on it last summer, and I kind of took a break the last few months just because things got busy. But I am full force back on the X-Files train, and guess what I found this month that just reaffirmed my beliefs that I am watching the right show. This is a plain white t-shirt with Mulder and Scully. It says "The truth is out there," which is basically the catchphrase, besides "trust no one." I can't even imagine why someone would get rid of this. That sounds like a case for Mulder and Scully. And so I will leave you with that. And this is the end of my August monthly thrift haul. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content that I create, like these videos or my outfit posts, then be sure to support it by liking and following and commenting and subscribing, sharing it with your friends, all of that good stuff. Hopefully I will see you in future videos, and in the meantime, be excellent to each other.